We are live. I'm not on the screen yet. I will mute the Discord and I guess do a little intro, and then I guess we'll go live. Give me 1 sec. Okay. Alright. What's up, everyone? This is the Slackin Podcast. Let me turn on the light so you guys can see what we're going on here. Alright, there we go. Alright. This is the Slackin Podcast. You guys enjoyed episode number 1 with the Germans, the Beast Mode Frankfurt. We have our boys from the SC Immortals, and we're gonna run it down and see how you guys like this episode. I think this will be a good episode. That I already in my ear trying to mess me up on my intro, but no, this will be a good episode. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you guys drop the like and subscribe. I'm gonna unmute the Discord so we can get this thing going, and let's enjoy tonight. All right. Now the chat should be able to hear both you guys. Welcome to the podcast. How you guys doing tonight? Oh, I guess I'd have to unmute from Discord again, huh? There we go. I was like, all right. Here we go. All right, here we go. We're figuring out all the technical stuff, on these podcasts. I'm just like, what's up? How you guys doing? And I still realized I was still muted in Discord for a minute. So, we did that the first time. All right, so hope you guys are here for the show. We got the boys from the Immortals. It should be a great night. We're trying to keep it within a couple hours so you guys can get some good sleep, for your last Friday before the paintball weekend. But
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We have no particular order. You guys can, however you guys want to introduce yourself, but I'll let you guys take it away. Just introduce yourself and who you guys a little bit are, and yeah.
Go ahead. My name is Leo Garcia, aka Anthony Cortez. I've been I play with the Immortals. I've been playing with the Immortals for about 3 years now, 2.5, almost 3 years. Paintball, man, it came into my life, man, just out of nowhere. Like I started off with my nephew. It was rec ball, and my nephew Adam Garcia, he's on the Immortals as well, and I started off with him in rec ball, man, and we went to SC. I guess that's the birthplace of a lot of paintballers, and that's when I with it. I remember going. I had we all had the rentals, right? And I was like, man, I can't go out like that. These guys took it to me, right? And it was just like, man, I know I'm better than that. You know what I mean? Like in a real life situation, I'm better than that. So we went the next weekend, and same thing, man. That's when the addiction just started, and just started to get obsessed with it little by little. And it was kind of cool because my nephew and his uncle, which is his other from my sister got with this guy and had my nephew, and his uncle on that side, we ended up being friends, and so we brought him to paintball. And his name is Drew. He plays for the Immortals as well, and we went, and it was just like that. Just at like that instant, he would buy his gun, and then we bought a gun, and I had like a real AR looking one, right? So I thought I was like doing stuff back then. Like I had a real AR looking gun, and I was just like went to SC and started, shooting people up, and it was fun, man. It had a lot of fun doing it, and then that's where the addiction just started. And I thought I was doing something with that gun, and then until I got shot with a speedball gun, and then that's the instant I was like, man, I'm better than that. And so we'd go to intermediate, and we'd play the good guys, and we'd always like end up bunkering them, and it just became an obsession. And then it grew from there, and then I want to say like a good 2 years, I got introduced to speedball, and that's when the obsession really happened, man. That's when the addiction really happened. That's when I was just addicted to the sport, to the camaraderie, to everything. I always say I got love for the game and passion for the sport, and it's just that's where it grew, man. Everybody there, once you get to the speedball, everybody there is just so welcoming, and they just want to see you excel, and they want to see you do good, man. It's all like, seriously, the guys that I got with that were there, they just wanted to literally grow the sport. Like, I met John, the Asian guy, John. He's out there, and
John.
he
Yeah, the
John,
pump
yeah,
two, yeah, pump two, John.
the
Yeah.
pump
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
the
that's
pump
the
master, man.
homie. He's the OG. He's a homie.
He was pumping. He was showing me things, man, and like, I still talk to him to this day, man. And he was a great influencer to me. You know how to get better, because if he could shoot me, and I have a speedball gun, and he could take me out, and it was just, it grew from there. And I had I had a problem with having to turn that switch off. Like, when you're in the moment and you're like, get the heck out, or this and that, and then, like, my language started changing. Instead of get the f out, it would be like, hey, get out. You know what I mean? Because when you hear get the f, you're gonna say something, right? So I didn't know that. It was hard for me for a while, because I have a background. My background, I was a wrestler, football, track, and I was very athletic. And you know, um, it was just that I had a lot of adrenaline at the moment,
Okay.
and I didn't know how to harness it.
Okay.
And it was just like, get out real quick, and so for me, it was hard to turn that switch off. Like, hey, try to grow the sport in that moment, because after in there, it's a war. Like, when you're in speedball, it's a war.
100%.
But outside, it's all love, man, and it's all like trying to grow the sport. And it was hard for me to do that when you're trying to tell somebody get the f out,
Yeah,
and I didn't realize that at the time, But it's just that, man. Everybody in that sport is you do have some competitors in there that want to get that kill every time, and it was just that, man. I just love the camaraderie, man, and it was something I was good at naturally. I was always following in my brother's footsteps, with the whole MMA, with the whole because I tried MMA out. I was doing the King of the Cage for a little bit. I was 4-2, got 2 losses. The second loss, it kind of made me second guess my career as a MMA fighter.
Okay.
I got knocked out pretty good.
Okay.
And so I had to think like career based. I have kids, and I wasn't making a ton of money doing MMA. So I found paintball, man, and it's just something that I was just naturally good at. And I always felt like I was destined for something. You know what I mean? And this is my calling. It's the first time that I felt like I'm fulfilling my destiny. Is something like, and then meeting the group of guys that I play with, and that they're my team. They're not just my team, they're my family. A lot of people say that, but they're my brothers. Like, they'll check on me like, hey man, how's life going? Outside of paintball, just like things like that, man. And it's just the camaraderie there is what keeps me there. And what fuels me is how much of an influence and how much of an impact that I see that I give to my team, and how much, they feed off of me. At first I didn't realize that, but it's just, and then like now it's just so cool to see young guys like Lucas Chamorro. I don't know how to say his last name, but Lucas, and see him evolve. Like, I remember him starting in the beginning, and I was like a part of his growth. I'm not saying I was there to coach him the whole time, but I was a part of it, and it was so cool to see him. And then there's another kid that we ball with now. His name is Chris, and Cody Smith. And these kids, man, they're not kids. They're growing men, right? So if I had that when I was growing up, because I didn't have much. I was just this punk kid from Riverside, California, born and raised. That like I had a group of friends, and we were into mischief, and if it wasn't for sports keeping me out of like gangs and stuff like that, I wouldn't have anything else. But this is just a new way of showing people that there is more to life, and there is growth aside of because it's making me grow as a person, and it's making me grow outside of paintball, inside of paintball. You know what I mean? I'm growing as a person, and I'm growing, and I love the sport. And Porky, I wouldn't meet anybody like Porky or Adrian right here, and I would, and you, for instance, like you guys like give me such good advice in the heat of the moment, and there's only, just like in wrestling, back in the day, I used to say, like, I only heard one voice, like my brother's voice, in the heat of the moment. It's hard to harness that, like, channel that voice that you hear. And I remember at, I believe it was a Dub C, and it was in Sacramento. Uh, you Goofy pulled me aside, Brett pulled me aside, and he's like, "Hey man, talk to me like just like man to man, and like kind of like gave me good key details, and just like calmed me down in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like told me like it's not all about being the hype man and being the loud guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because some refs don't like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I found out the hard way. And we had our own conversation, and I thank you for that till this
Yeah.
day, man. And it just everything you were telling me made sense, and it kind of took me back a second, like, oh yeah, this guy's right. And Porky's
Mm-hmm.
that voice for me too.
Yeah.
Adrian's that voice for me to take it like and I forget that like when people get me out, because I don't realize that I would say I'm an okay snake player, right? And I don't realize that people, when they shoot me out, they get excited. They get like, oh, I got this guy, like he's a good guy, and I got him.
Yeah.
And so they get hyped up. But what that does is it kind of like triggers this animal in me, that like my animal instinct comes on, like, what, all right, I'll see you next time, type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and and in the sport, it's just all about growing the sport and getting better, at your position, in every position, because uh, I'm not a great Dorito player, but I'm an okay snake player. You know what I mean? And Porky's an all around type of guy that we could just put out there, and he could just adapt to every, I would say, position that we put him to. I wouldn't say I'm well rounded, but I tend to go to the snake a lot, and I like to keep it, because in the sport, it's like you got to keep them guessing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be creative out there. So if everybody knows that I'm going to the snake, they still know I'm going to the snake, but I'm still gonna make it in there one way or another. And to put that pressure on me to take it off my team so they can do their thing, it took a while for me to realize that. The field awareness, the team communication, the all that comes into play. And it's just, I tell Porky all the time, Adrian all the time, like it's paintball is like a game of inches, right? Like you when you get miss a shot, it's like inches from your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's narrowing those inches down to nearly nothing. And I couldn't be me without my team.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I couldn't do, because I could get some kill fives by
Mm-hmm.
myself, and I tried, but I couldn't do it without my team,
Of
because
course.
they take the shots pressure off of me, so I
Mm-hmm.
could go in there
Mm-hmm.
and do my thing.
Of course.
Sorry for the long
No,
introduction
no, no,
too.
you're
I was
good. No,
just,
you're
I was,
good. You're good. No, no,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
good.
my
Hey,
bad.
I wanted you to just keep
Yeah,
talking. I don't want to like never stop anyone. It's like it was a good, but I think if we'll hold that back a little bit till we get to like teamwork and attitude. I think that'll fit
right on.
perfectly in there. You know what I mean? And like, no, trust me, I'm entertained. That's why I'm not gonna stop so in the middle. You know, like I
My
just
man.
wanted you to get out. You're good. No, hey, that's why we're here.
For sure.
Open discussion, dog. That's
Yes,
why we're
sir.
here. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Right on.
we'll just let and then Porky. I mean, I guess that's however you want to introduce yourself to the people. Please give yourself, an introduction. Then we'll keep going down to the tournaments and all this good stuff. So
Yes,
Hell
sir.
yeah. Um, that was fucking beautiful.
it was
Fucking
beautiful. That's
Leo,
why I
that
just
shit was
wanted to
that
hit.
shit
That's
is.
why I want to hear. I know with this man when
I
it
was
comes from
lost
the
in it.
heart, I have to just let it go because it's from the heart. So I want to listen.
Yes,
hundred
sir.
percent, dog.
Yes,
Hell
sir.
yeah. Hell yeah. Well, my name's Adrian Beltran. I'm number 7 on the Immortals, captain. Uh, they call me Porky. I've had that name since like 4th grade. Fucking, I just started balling same time around Leo. He probably has some more months underneath his belt, but I started balling around 3 years ago. I started with rec ball, as everyone else does. I started killing it in rec ball. I wanted to go try out my skill somewhere else, so I went to the speedball. I got thrown into Snake first fucking time. Got a 5 pack. Loved it ever since, man. And I just I started rocking with the Sonics, SoCal Sonics, and we played a tournament against the Immortals. Got a place over them, and it wasn't even about that though. It was about the community, the acceptance, everything else besides the medals and everything. Um, just vibing with like my friends, like my brothers now. Like Leo said, we're more than just a team. We're definitely a family, and it's like that for a reason. Is because we all came together and had similar interests, and honestly, we just wanted an escape from the real world, and we found it within each other. and we had fun, you know. And when we wanted to take it to the next level and play a tournament together, we fucking did so, and we did good. We did ASG number, I think it was number 1 2 years ago, and we did good. We did fourth, and we saw that we're able to put our name on the map. We're fucking ballers. We're able to do this shit, and so yeah, that's where it all started, basically. I mean, it started way before, but I feel like a competitive side to us, that's where it really started. Being a team, being one, being a family. I mean, even though we'll have barbecues and stuff like that, going out places, you know, really building the team bonding and the camaraderie and the chemistry, like that all takes in consideration, is taken into consideration. But that tournament was literally the start of it all, and we've been balling ever since. And each time we go to a tournament, it's like it's perfect. It's perfect. We always come out a better team. Um, and yeah, man, just trying to ball out with them. It's fucking sick. Every weekend we go out every weekend. Catch us at the jungle. We're out there killing shit. Come play against us. Everything, you know. Yeah, man. Fucking.
Let's see. So I pulled up your guys. So you guys. So in what was it February of 2022 was when you guys played ASG Event 1. You guys got 4th out of 16th.
There you go.
There you go.
So last year.
Yeah. And then
Or-
you guys played event number 2 and got 17th out of 18th. So I don't know what happened there from the first event to the second event, you know, but
Let's just say I didn't play that one.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
okay.
Leo did not play
No.
with
I'm
us.
just kidding.
No, but like
That's true,
like
though.
looking at your guys' like overall like legacy, do you guys have like a good, you know, like overall, I mean there's besides like there's like 2 turns, think what? Let's see. The first Dub C Championship in 2022, you guys got 22nd out of 26, but after that, you guys were pretty much finishing within like the top 10%, you know what I mean? Like you guys were finishing in the top 10s, you know what I mean? And Dub C is a very hard tournament, you know what I mean? And even ASG, even the ASG one, you know, there's a lot of fucking crazy ass teams in there. So you guys, you know, balled out in that one that you guys got third, huh? You guys got third. Yeah, you guys were close in that one, and
Yeah.
I know that was a tough one, but you guys did really well. And like I said, you guys been showing out. So I mean, that's good. Especially that's why I like to kind of show these type of like stories and talk about, because just like my friend, like, you know, Chris, you guys don't know Chris that plays like on my team Skillman. That dude's been playing paintball for a year and a half, you know, 2 years now, and that dude's, you know, as a baller, and that just kind of shows, you know, you just get some people with like athletic ability. It doesn't matter what sport, just kind of home in that nature and kind of, you know, putting that adrenaline. Like you'll see the, you know, just, and you just put yourself, you guys play so much, you know, that's just like you guys are growing every day. And I know, you know, Leo, I see you make the videos at the park, you know, you do what you can, you know, especially like away, you know, and I know you guys do a lot of that, so that's, you know, always good, because that's what you got to be, you know. Like we talked about that a lot on the last podcast, but I mean at the end of the day, you know, those are where the moments start, you know, behind the scenes, you know, and even in your living room, practice snap shooting in your living room, you know, I'm just watching TV, you know, like those are honestly the moments that, you know, a lot of people make or break nowadays. And that's for a lot of the young pros, you know, you see a lot of these young kids who are 13, 14, 15, like going pro. It's because it's like, you know, they're like in like the right, you know, kind of area and certain things, you know, for them, but like they're just putting the work, natural ability, they're just so hungry, they want to do it, you know. And that's what you guys want. You guys are hungry, and it shows, you know. Look in the tournaments, you guys are increasing every time, and you know, hopefully see how far you guys can, you know, go up the ranks. And were you guys planning on playing this year? D5, D4?
We're gonna play D4.
Okay.
When we played that ASG and we placed third, that was a D4. We're playing D4 that one, and so like I said, we're just really trying to challenge ourselves as a team and as individuals and see how far we could actually get up. And shout out to Paul. He used to play on Suffer. He really was the one that pushed us and really kind of molded us into the way that we think now. Like how Leo was saying, like, you know, it took a while for all of us to just really like, all right, it's a team sport. We got to do it as a team. There's 5 players, but we are one. Like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Paul, man. Shout out to Paul. He really.
Yeah, and I want to touch base on the, you know, as you see on the progress, you know, it's our progress is getting up little by little, and that's just us coming together as a team and figuring that out. You know, as the tournaments go on, we're like, okay, hey, you know, like, cause I can't, like I said, I can't do it by myself. But
Of
I'm a
course,
badass baller by myself.
of course.
Porky's a badass baller by
Mhm.
himself. We're all badass ballers by ourselves, but together, we're this unstoppable force that's beyond even us. You know, and when the comms are there, that field calculation, that calculated aggression that's there, that Porky always talks about, and just harnessing all that and narrowing those inches down again, and just finding us as a team, like to run as a unit, because I think you were saying too, you could put a bunch of good ballers together, it ain't gonna make a great team.
Yeah, yeah,
They gotta learn how to play together. It took us a while, man, and,
yeah.
and we're still learning till this day. I mean, I think 2024 is gonna be our year where we're gonna leave our market and leave
Good,
our name,
good,
you
good.
know, and it's just putting that together, and it took time. It didn't take, it just didn't happen overnight. We had to, learn how Porky plays, learn how I play, learn like each other's
Hmm.
way, and I think we did it the best way. We didn't just hop from team to team to figure out, oh man, I want to be the best, I'm gonna go play with the best. No, it's not that. It's just working with what you
Yeah,
got,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and coming across guys that want it just as bad as you do. And you know when people see your passion, right, they're gonna follow, you know what I mean, and they're gonna just, they cling on to that, and then they're gonna get a taste of it, and they're gonna get their own passion for it. And it's just that, man, and just growing at each other, seeing each other grow, and seeing, like, we have a guy, Bobby, and Bob, he's a good player, and just seeing him grow. uh Another player that we have, Matt, and another, Bruno, like seeing
Hmm.
these guys from the Immortals, seeing these
Yeah,
guys just evolve in the sport. Even watching Cody and Lucas, and just like so many paintballers that I know, watching everybody evolve and seeing how far they came from the beginning of what they started, man, it's so cool to see. And I'm a little older. I'm 37, so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like, it's like watching your little son grow into a
Hmm.
man. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like, I'm not saying they're my sons, but it's just like
Yeah.
watching them as a person, like, just, wow, man, you evolved so much. Like Chris, seeing him shoot, he shot some guy out, like two. He had a 2v1. This guy Chris that
Hmm.
we play at the
Yeah, yeah.
jungle, and he was with Cody for his first event, and he was some nervous kid. I want to say he's like 14, 15, and he was nervous, man. But to see him, and to see it build people's confidence, man, it's just
Good.
it's so cool to watch, man, and
Yeah.
it's so cool to just see.
Hmm. Yeah, of course, and that's why on the last one I did mention. We were talking about like Lucas. I did mention Lucas because it's like I always look at Lucas as like he's a young kid. I always got to remember that, but he holds himself like so well, and it's like those are the people it's like that are gonna do something. It's cool, but at the end of the day, I made some. We got kind of in trouble where I kind of was a bad influence one day because I was like obviously kind of watching because he's still a young kid, so it's like mom let me kind of stay like chill with me, but we were on the hyperball field. It was fucking that 35-mile-an-hour wind day. We're making videos, still drilling. It was like a fun day, but like that's like what it really takes. But that's like a cool experience that like I enjoy at paintball. Is just like kind of being trusted by like someone's like family and parents just to kind of like watch a young kid, but also like just go there and just have a good day and like like this is like I used to be that age, and I would always look for somebody, and like that's one of my old team IN scene. Like I was actually on that team for about like 6 years, and a lot of the guys were 30-year-old construction workers, had some decent like jobs and just good people, and like that's kind of where I first like kind of started like smoking weed, doing things, but like they were like cool role models. Besides, so I was getting calls, but others, but like they were just good role models, and like they took me under their wing, and like I played on their team for like 6 years, and I think we don't have a lot of like teams even at the lower divisions. We got up to like D3, played like D3 PSP, and we traveled. We got like first place in Phoenix one time. So it's like, but like that team was
Nice.
just like that was like what I've always like tried, and like wherever I go in paintball, whatever, like no matter if I'm on a team or I make my own team in the future, like just like the brotherhood is like the aspect that is more than just paintball. And I said I've been playing paintball since I've been 12 years old, and yeah, when I've been like little, like maybe my mom has helped me out here or there, but for the most part my brother and I have had to pay for like everything. And the amount of money, if I added it up, like every paintball player, but if the amount of money every paintball player is probably spent for how much they're ever going to win in a lifetime is like astronomical. So like you really do have to cherish the moments, you know what I mean? Especially as like you get older, it is good to like instill the wisdom. But like I've seen, you know, dudes nowadays who are fucking like, look at Ryan Greenspan, dudes and they're like 40, 50 years old are still balling out. So like, you know, you're never like too old to necessarily play at a level, but there is a level you gotta, you know, instill in the younger kids, you know. But at the end of the day, it's just the camp. And like I said, I still want, you know, good people to play on my team. I don't want to just like not be able to be competitive, but I will take, you know, like maybe a slightly less person in like a skill attribute, but as long as they have a good attitude and they're willing to keep learning and stuff, but they're still a baller and they're still gonna ball it. I'll take those people like all day, you know what I mean? And that just kind of,
Yes, sir.
you know, and like I said, you wanna play with people day in day out, like at, you know, D4 D5. The only thing that we can do is pretty much be brothers, like, you know, like I said, like all, even like I said, I brought it last podcast, even if you win a Dub C event, you're probably not even making money. Like, you know what I mean, by the amount of paint, you know, by the amount of box of paint and entry and stuff. Yeah, you know, it's still like, I'm not saying it's still, you know, good money to like get your shit back and win it back, but like so that just shows you like paintball is definitely one of the sports that I've actually it is more about the brotherhood. I played baseball, basketball, and there's always those like camaraderie, but paintball is a sport that I've never felt like it's more of that family aspect than any other sport, you know, than that I played. So I think that's very important, especially at a lower level. If you really want to just build up, you got to be around good people, you know. And so, but yeah.
And I feel like it's all worth it, man. I feel like it's all worth it. Like,
100%.
I look back and just the times that I've had with my boys, like Junior, George, Bobby, Leo, Drew, Adam, literally Dylan. Shout out to Dylan. He's not playing with us anymore, man. But man, I would not trade the amount of money that I spent in these last 3 years for any of that, man. Like, just meeting these guys, man, is just, it's honestly like I see it as a beautiful thing in this life, man. Paintball is beautiful.
It
like
is.
you really just evolve as a person, as an individual, and it's so great because like you're around everybody, like how you said, has the same mindset, and how Leo says has the same mindset, and how we have like this drive and shit like that. So it's like, it's really cool, man. I would not change it for the world, man. I would not.
100%. Yeah, I would. There's no amount of money that I've spent in paintball that would change, you know, like what I've made in you know, the friendships. And I say, like, I think paintball, there's probably some people nowadays, like I would say if I have to like look into like that I met through paintball that are like still my friends, you know, to this day, where some of my best friends, you know, that I grew up in school with, you know, at some point, you know, when you go through high school or whatever the fuck, you know, you just kind of slowly start losing those people when you meet new people. But like, you know, so when I was like 18 really playing paintball, I still like some of those guys that were 30 years old, like now are still, you know, 40 whatever, still have, you know, 3 or 4 kids, but like they're like, fuck, I want to get back into paintball, but like I'm such a high up in this construction company now, it's hard for me to just get like away. But it's like I still talk to like those people every day, and like those are people I've just met through paintball. The one day I just showed up to SC Village and was like, yo, I'm Brett, you know, I saw your fucking post, you know, on PB Nation, whatever, and it was just, the rest was just history, you know. And like those are some of my best, you know, friends and brothers to this day. So I think paintball is something, there's something there for sure, you know. And like I'm not the biggest fan of like playing rec ball and scenario and stuff, but I have to say, like, sometimes it's like those days where maybe the speed ball doesn't go the right way, or like maybe the practice, like I've had a good time playing with like Lugo, you know, and Zay, just going and playing the rec ball, you know. Just those moments, you know. But just those moments, you know, I don't even have to play speed ball all the time. Just, you know, just being around the friends, you know, people around paintball just makes it, you know, enjoyable. But yeah,
I don't know how you do that, man.
Yeah, it's rough, you know. I mean, I guess people love the videos. Apparently, I've been told people like scenario videos. I mean, they're not the best for me to like actually edit. I'm just like kind of like, you guys like this shit? But I mean, it is what it is. But
yeah, man. With any paintball content, I think any paintball player would appreciate anything, honestly.
And like, I always put all my effort, and I always make sure all my shit's in the most high quality that I can. So, you know, usually the shit, even if it's scenario, my shit's always try to be like crispy, you know, so at least like the footage and everything, you know, the editing's pretty solid. So, but
yeah, I think when I started, you know, playing paintball, and I was like on the internet looking like SC paintball, and like, you know, first thing to pop up, I'm watching, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, so it's like putting the content out there, because there's a lot of content out there, but good quality content, you don't know. You know, you have to search for it. And I think you have, I mean, with the GoPro now, you know, it's just, like life's different, you know. And yes, paintball is an expensive sport. You know what I mean? You're gonna break the bank doing it, especially if you want a good gun, especially if you want a good tank, you know. And and all those things matter, man. Like everything matters, from the gun to the tank to the, but at the same time, all you have to do is just go out there with passion, and that's how it starts, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then go from there, and then people around you, like I said before, the camaraderie, like people, I've had like my literal, like for the first, like I want to say half year, my friend was letting me borrow his gun. It was a
Mm-hmm.
CS2, and I was just like, man, this gun is cool, and it made until I bought my own, and it's just like the camaraderie's there, man, and so I'm just so thankful, man. I honestly think that paintball saved my life, man, because
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do after MMA, right? Like I'm an adrenaline junkie. Like what matches that adrenaline, right? And it was paintball. Paintball
Yeah.
was the only thing that in the cage it's just you versus another man, right? And on the field it's you and your team, But it's like to match that adrenaline, it's uncanny, man. It's just like I can't fathom what else I could think of that would match that adrenaline. Because when the adrenaline's pumping, right, it's like, whew, you could tire yourself out by just doing all kinds of stuff, and it wouldn't make a difference. But harnessing that adrenaline and just like putting it to a positive attribute while you're playing the game, it just, I don't know, man. It's just there's a lot that goes into paintball, and to break it down, to from the field awareness, like that's a big thing right there. Like field awareness, I can tell somebody how to play and when to play and what to do the whole time, but field awareness is learned. It's not taught. It's not
Mm-hmm.
none of that. It's just learned by being out there in certain scenarios, certain situations, and then just kind of getting like before, like for instance, like I used to shoot like this with my chicken wing. Boom, I got shot a couple times. Like,
Yeah.
okay, now I got to keep my arm down,
Yeah.
and again, narrowing those inches down. And it's just being in those situations that teach you, like, oh, I know not to do that next time, because that's how I got shot out last time. I was peeking out too much this time. Oh, I got to, like do a head check next time,
Mm-hmm.
like whatever works for you. But at the same time, it's just narrowing. And my dad told me this, right? He said, you've been through a lot of shit. If you went through all that shit and didn't get anything out of it, you went through all that shit for nothing, And I take that
Yeah.
into for paintball too. So like in that scenario, when you're here and I didn't learn nothing, then dang, I'm gonna get shot there again. So it's just to learn from your last mistake, and that's what we're doing. We're just building as a team, and we're building each other as we're building as a team. Like Porgy, I see him sit with the our secondary team, the Grays, and he takes the time out and like, hey man, maybe try this. You know what I mean? And Paul was a good coach at that, where he would tell us, he would suggest, like, hey, try this. If it works for you, try it, man.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, I see some coaches out there that are like, you need to do this, blah, 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 try to drill you, right?
Yeah.
Because there's different coaches, because you're talking to a man right here. You know what I mean? So you can't yell at me and belittle me. You know what I mean? So you suggest, like, hey man, try this. And if it might work,
Yeah.
and then you realize, like, oh shit, this guy was right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And Paul was good at that, and so he kind of broke it down to us to where we could understand it. You know what I mean? The best with us, and Paul's been through it. And I talked to Paul one-on-one, and I asked him, like, I know you've seen people come and go, and just like you,
Yeah.
right? I know you've seen people come and go in the sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just, it's where your passion is and where your drive is. And people take breaks. Life happens. Hey, I get it. You know what I mean? But it's just. And something about paintball, it just it reels you back in. You know what I mean? Because paintball's never gonna leave you, bro. It's always gonna be there. It's always gonna be in the back of your mind. Like if I miss paintball one weekend, like I'm so stressed. Like, man, why did I miss?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's just like,
I haven't played in a couple
I'm
weeks. I
itching.
haven't played in a couple weeks, and I've just been like, this weekend I gotta do my shit and I gotta play. But yeah, no, I feel,
sure.
I feel it, especially like, I mean, it's almost been a year now since I haven't had my job at the construction field that I worked at for 3 years. So I did the office shit for the permitting. It was a pretty good job. It's like if I didn't have paintball, or if I wasn't like involved in my brand, I would say maybe when I started in November, so it was probably like 3 or 4 months before that. If I wasn't like doing my brand or like making videos and like doing my thing, like I don't know like where I would be necessarily like internally wise right now. But like paintball, just like even doing media, sometimes it's like it's been like fun, like going to like NXL events and like filming it would like it'd be cool to like play, but like I enjoy like being someone that like can want to do it, and like people are taking chances, but like just being around the game. And if I didn't have it, didn't take a chance in investing at least in the camera, and like I said, last time, like meeting Todd Boyer and like doing those things, like the opportunities that like where I would never thought I was going to travel to Chicago or Florida last year to go film paintball for semi-pro or any level, and to film teams from Germany and Puerto Rico. Like I wouldn't have had the like paintball. I wouldn't have had those opportunities if it wasn't for paintball and me just picking up a camera and like fuck it. I want to like be unselfish sometimes and like capture the people's moments that like it's always nice. And it's like I don't need pictures and like media, but it is always nice like randomly, like if you just had a practice jungle eye and all of a sudden you're like, yo, there was some random dude out there just like taking pictures and videos and stuff. It's like, and that's me because it's like I love to do it. Like I don't ask for money. I don't like those random days besides tournaments and obviously paid shit, but it's like but paintball is a way that's like it saved me all the time. And I took a break for about 6 years, and when my brother came back from the Air Force, he was just like, yo, I need to fucking get back in paintball. I need to like come to the real world a little bit. It was fucking shitty and a little depressed of where I was staying at. So like we just bought our fucking guns. Said it last podcast, we just bought our guns, and we've been playing for the last 2 years after a 6-year break, and the rest has been history. And I wouldn't playing with my brother has been one of the best things that I could say in my life, like at least right now, just in that. So but just paintball in general, just like around you guys and just everybody, Kevin and Chris and all those people. So I will say that paintball has just been it's saved, I think, a lot in my life, or at least kept me going for I could have, without this I probably would have lost my job, would have been like fuck, like then I could have like gone back, but now I'm like really trying to just like be a little venturous, you know what I mean, just like take those steps and just kind of like fuck it, like let's see what can happen, I mean, it's not easy, it's been fucking tough, you know what I mean, like it's inconsistent, but it's just something I love to do. And if I get like those like bids, sometimes with like my family here and there, or like everyone thinks there's like ideas nowadays of what you should be doing, and like there's just like there's a level I know in the immediate future I have to do to like help just like financially do things. But if I stop what I'm doing, then I will like I don't know what I'd do myself. Like when I stopped doing like even YouTube, and I even did fucking vlogging 5 years ago, and I just stopped, like this is why I'm doing it. Like there's just something that was just like you can't like stop doing like what you do. But now that I found paintball, that's been like that kind of passion, that niche. It's just all together now. It's just so easy. It's fun to film. I'm not forcing myself to film something I don't want to do just to like get views. And like I don't give a fuck about making shitload of money on YouTube. I just enjoy it, and everyone else enjoys it, and it's there for the rest.
And I commend you, man, and it's definitely a calling for you, man. And it's imagine like you back in the day when you were balling, man, somebody capturing those moments, because those moments, and that's all you were doing, man, is making moments and making memories, bro. And at the end of the day, that's all we got. And for you to capture that, man, I commend you, and like people are gonna remember you for that, man. And it's that's really cool. Like it's a calling. Like this is my calling. Paintball is my calling, and maybe playing and or recording is your call. You know what I mean? Like we all have a calling. Like I said, man, I was destined for something. I just didn't know what. And this just it fell in my lap, bro. And it's just like ever since then, I want to hold on to it, and I'm never letting go, man. So and I commend you, man, because. And you do great work too, man. Your videos are freaking awesome, bro. And it's just like, it is hard.
It is hard to like watch some of you guys sometimes, like at like tournaments. But it's just like it's like one of those things where after some of our stuff like happened throughout the year, like me and my brother were just like, all right, this is like what we're gonna be for the rest of the year. So like I was like, fuck it. But like I look at it like I'm still gonna play. I plan on playing Dub C's this year. I am playing with Narcos. Me and my brother are playing with Narcos. So we'll see.
Congratulations on that, man.
We're gonna see. Those are my boys too. I'm gonna go back. I'm not gonna be playing, with like Kev's line and stuff. But it'd be fun just to go back with my kind of family. That's kind of my family, Kevin, and Oz. But I think it's just I want to play. But it's just I look at like what I'm doing is like YouTube and even paintball is like just the portfolio. That's like hopefully a career. That's like finally something that just like I can show, like jobs and like, actually get, with a brand, and like do something like that. That's my goal. I don't want to like do just crazy freelance and try to like be some YouTuber, but I do enjoy it. And like hopefully within paintball, I can find some, brand or something that will, want to do some more media and stuff like that. So, so just got to keep
shout out to all the media guys, man.
Yes.
Shout out to Goofy.
Yeah. Shout out to Goofy by nature, man.
Media.
Yes.
All the hosts, man. Shout out all you guys, man. You guys really do just capture the moment, and we as players appreciate it. Not only that, just like as people, man, like just seeing ourselves, being able to critique ourselves, and I know Leo could attest to this. We really do use the videos to critique ourselves. Like, we're not watching the videos over and over for our own entertainment, even though it is entertainment. But we're just there like, fuck, I should have slid a little bit sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I should have went a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. I should have just snapped out a little bit. And that's just having those things in the back of our minds is just like, it really helps us as players. So
Mm-hmm.
really shout out to the
Yeah.
media, man. Like, not
Yeah.
only capturing the moments, but letting us being able to critique ourselves, like, in that sense, man. Like,
Yeah.
so thank you, Flu,
If the
for
local
sure.
fields insured our
everybody.
stuff more, then I'm pretty sure we'd be out there shooting free content even more, so you guys get practice, you know. But one shot
Hell
to
yeah.
the dude. But all right, well, we kind of talked a little bit. We'll kind of go to our next. So we'll just talk a little bit about. I have an interest. So like ASG. So you guys have played like kind of like D5, like ASG and Dubs. Well, you guys play D4, D5, but like I would say just like last time I kind of asked on like the pro if they thought like the challenger and like what would like make paintball kind of like not like entertaining and stuff. Like I think as like players, as like it's a D5 level, do you guys enjoy playing like the kind of that race to like the format, or do you kind of wish like maybe like the lower format would be like maybe a slower time limit, but like maybe just kind of like going for it? Because I know like we played D5 ASG, I think one of the events, and it was very tough to like, you know. Or is that, you think it's a cool like kind of challenge, you know? I mean,
Well, for me personally, I like playing paintball. I'll go in and I'll
Mhm.
run every single point. And it was just more like we take in consideration everybody. So if somebody doesn't want to play, you know, D4, then we're not gonna do it, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So we kind of just our first season, we didn't really know what we were getting into. Obviously, like we kind of just went in there, and we enjoyed it. And so the second season, we were gonna make the jump to D4, but somebody said, he was like, if you have the points to play D5, just play
yeah. Get the
D5.
experience, yeah, especially as a new team. You know what I mean? You're not a sandbagging team. You're just a new team getting experience. So that, you know, makes sense.
Exactly. And so we really took that into consideration. And obviously, we do like playing paintball, and that whole race to two shit, like, it's not really my forte. We'll do it, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I feel like they should at least, you know, have X ball format for ASG at least.
yeah, yeah,
ASG X ball format for D5.
yeah.
And
I agree.
and yeah, because anytime, like when we played Sacramento NXL, it was, you know, it was X ball. We weren't doing no race to five and
Okay.
shit like that, or race to two. So anytime we can play X ball, we really, you know, put ourselves in that situation and played the shit, you know.
Okay.
We're not there to just race to two.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just me personally.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think more X. Sorry for interrupting, but
You're
I
good.
think for more of the X ball format is more strategy. You know what I mean? It's more strategic, right? Like if race to two, like somebody could get that lucky first win, and then or catch another one, and it's just like, but at the same time, may the best player win, right? And so it's just like we've been, from what I understand, us as Immortals, we love to put ourselves into some shit, right? Like we like to put
I feel that.
ourselves
I
like,
feel that. I feel that.
like we're like down by 2, we gotta make these points, you know what I mean? And that's when we shine. For some reason,
Yeah.
we like to ball
Yeah.
like that, and it's like, but for the race to 2, and sometimes we didn't make it. Maybe that was the 23rd place that we got, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I would like to see the X ball format, but it's just, I would think they do that as a time limit, because it already runs pretty late as it is, But
Yeah.
when you're paying that much money and you wanna ball, heck yeah, you wanna give your best chance.
Yeah, because
you know
it
what
does.
I mean?
It does kind of feel like like you said, you're gonna play like whatever, I guess, division, whatever format's gonna be there in a sense. But it does feel kind of like that short win where like it does feel like by the time the first match is over, like you barely even like actually got like warmed up. You know what I mean? Where like even like I think our fucking team, no one safe was practice or tournament. We were so bad at starting off slow. We'd fucking like lose. We already knew we were gonna lose every single fucking first point. No matter. It's like those tournaments, for at least for us personally, were like definitely handcuffs, because we would fucking always drop first point. Then we'd play the last 2 matches in fucking sweet 4-0. We're like, what the fuck, dude? And then we're missing. You know what I mean? By like barely any points. But yeah, I think it's just like, I think like D6, might be like a chance to kind of still do that, because you don't need those players to be shooting paint. But I feel like D5 is getting pretty competitive, or like really competitive, so I think it would be a nice little transition, maybe just to like lower the time limit a little bit, but still kind of do a little bit more of just the X ball and give you a little bit more of a feel, because some of those ASG tournaments for D5 finish fast as fuck. I know when I was like trying to film and go back and forth, like the D5s were finishing like 2 hours ahead of schedule, and it's just like, you guys like obviously have a little bit of time, But I guess it is nice to save some money too, though. Sometimes some of those D5s are nice, a little bit on the pocket, because sometimes those race to formats, you go full fucking 7-8 points, every single match. You're like, god damn. But
Get boxes of match and shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you okay? So
but
yeah. What?
just for the entertainment aspect, yeah, I feel like an X ball format in ASG D5 would be better. And if they keep D6, that race to 2 and shit like that, I feel like that would bring a lot more teams just from everywhere else, like neighboring states and shit like that. Kind of how like WCPPL does it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just feel like as an entertainment aspect to it, I feel like that would be like the best move.
All right, so do you guys think that, I guess in any paintball, that as a sport, like paintball is pretty solid as far as like how it's played, or do you think there's any changes that like they can make to make the game more entertaining, or is it you think it's like where it's at, it's kind of just gonna be kind of where paintball's at, 'cause that's just where, you know what I mean? That's just the sport.
Well, when you look at the old school videos, right, when they're like capturing the flag and they're doing all that, and they're just it like that's exciting. That's exciting paintball. The old school Dynasty, watching those guys. It's just, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know. I like kind of I feel the format and I understand why they're doing it, because paintball has changed in an aspect. You know what I mean? The gun rate, the all that good stuff. It's just but I don't know. I would like to see more of an X-ball format, rather than this like the race to 2 or and I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like it just needs a little more. But paintball's been around for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's. But for me, well, maybe because I wasn't paying attention before, but like it's growing. It's like look at SC. SC's exploded. You know what I mean? But and I know it does its trial and errors, like where it hits high and then it goes down, and it's like. But I feel like it's a growing sport, and I'm all about growing the sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just feel like now that YouTube's around and there's a lot more videos of it, like I feel like there's a lot more paintball players out. Like if you go to SC, it's packed. You know what I mean? Jungle's packed all the time, and it's just like I just feel like it's a growing more and more sport. So anything to the entertainer or to entertain people, I'm all for it. You know what I mean?
I guess, what about, okay, so you guys, or Porky, I know you played for sure. What do you think about, like, the Hormesis, like, 1v1 tournaments? You think, like, that's a good thing for paintball? I mean, what they're trying to do?
Yeah. I feel like it's good for paintball, especially, that's what I was going to touch up on. It's just like a different format, like how Leo was explaining right now. Like, it's just how the game evolved. That's why we have, this 5-man X-ball format and shit like that. And it's just because the players are like getting to that's where we need to go, But with this whole 1v1 thing, it really showcased the individual's skill, and it's like I feel like it's really entertaining, like watching your videos, watching Hermesi's videos and everything like that. It's really entertaining. Like I really look forward to the 1v1s that they have been posting recently. And
yes sir.
And honestly, it's like I would definitely I've watched every single video of paintballing on YouTube for sure. And it's just like now I like really look forward to seeing those 1v1s. I'm like, damn, like that's like where my eye is catching, And it's just like it's like I imagine it this way. It's like if we bring paintballing in front of somebody that doesn't know it, and we're over here trying to like talk it out and stuff like that, it's going to be kind of hard to entertain them, especially when people are just sitting in the back, because that's just how it's played. Where calculated aggression, like damage paintball and shit like that, like it's just sitting in the back. But to us, that's like the craziest shit ever, fuck, like you're able to sit there for 5 minutes holding a lane, like damn, how do you do that shit? But like to any other person, it'd be like fuck. So I feel like the Hormesis 1v1 is definitely like boxing, just see people stick and move and shit like that, make the fucking moves. And I feel like it's good just to showcase an individual skill. And I feel like if one person that doesn't know shit could gravitate towards one person that does know shit, it'll just make that common interest, and hopefully that person that doesn't know shit would be like, you know what, paintball seems kind of fucking sick.
It was definitely a fun event to film. I definitely was enjoying your snapping antics over there. Your boy was going
Man.
ham on the
Yeah,
snap
little.
shit.
I didn't know, man.
I didn't know he had that in
Geo
him
4,
either. I didn't
man.
know he had it
I
in him
love that
either. I was
Geo
like,
4,
God
bro.
damn, dog. All right,
Yeah,
all
that was
right,
nice.
and,
all right.
I
and
give
it
you
was,
props for that.
Yeah.
thank you, man. And honestly,
Yeah.
like, if it wasn't for, um, Ben being out there and you being out there and really like me being able to, and Quick Shot Media,
Mm-hmm.
if you guys weren't out there and I wasn't able to see how I play, like I go out there and I just play.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
of
don't know
course.
how I look and shit like that. So like when I saw myself fucking
Yeah.
I was just like damn, I
Yeah,
could
you
just
look
stop
good. I
playing,
ain't
Yeah,
you know?
it's good. It's good.
And that's what
Yeah,
I
you look.
mean though. Like it's really entertaining, like even to just watch that. Because I was looking at everybody,
Yeah.
and just seeing how like the way they play. I really take
Mm-hmm.
in consideration. Like Todd Boyer, he goes out
Yeah.
wide and then just stands tall. I
Yeah.
was just like,
And it's
what the
crazy, and
fuck?
it's
Why didn't I
crazy
do that?
because like you look at like even styles because you can see like how hard like Todd and Clayton work because their styles are very like similar. You see like they're training, at the same camp. They're working hard because they both have like that kind of high spread, just like power snap, just got, and then eventually like they're just gonna fucking mow you down until you fucking, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was good. It was definitely well, I mean,
Yeah, hell
so.
yeah.
So I mean, all right. So I mean, how do you guys think? All right, we'll talk a little bit about reffing because I guess after this there is a little bit of a clip and stuff like that. But I mean, how do you guys think overall this year? Like, we'll say at the lower division, you guys think as like reffing? You think you guys a lot of couple plays maybe changed certain things or certain calls? You think like there was certain calls that happened like that might have like weren't as detrimental but kind of sucked? I mean, as I said, nothing can be perfect, but I think it's something to talk about because. I mean, because I've there's a plenty of clips,
Yeah,
Yeah, you can go.
I feel like the refs, a lot of them are newer. You know what I mean?
True.
And so like and for them to ref a big tournament like that with very little direction, I would say, you know what I mean, to like make sure they get the calls right or necessarily like know what to do in a certain situation when they maybe they're checking
Yeah.
somebody or they're calling somebody out. There was a couple times like I'm a loud person. Like I hype myself up. Only reason I'm loud is because like not only do I hype myself up, but I hype my team up.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and you know what? I felt like when you're that guy, when you're that person and you're loud, people kind of look at you like, look at this loudmouth mother. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's
yeah.
just like they're gonna. I was like, I'm gonna calm him down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so their eye is on you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But hey, by all means, like if I'm really out, get me
Of
out.
course,
You
of
know,
course.
but I feel like they're more susceptible to call you on like bullshit
yeah,
calls
true,
because
true. They don't
you know
go
what I mean?
in. They
Because
don't
you
go
are the
in
loud
as
guy.
much. They don't go in as much in check, and I think do like those little minute details as much. I think where you'll see some of the higher, levels. I guess do I guess.
Yeah.
But,
And that's what I was gonna say too. Like I really noticed how the refs when I watch NXL and stuff like that. There's four of them laying on the ground looking a certain direction. So I feel like even if they're new to reffing and stuff like that, or they don't have enough experience, at least kind of just like how us players look at the pro players and adapt what they're doing and kind of
Mhm.
just put it towards ourselves. I feel like them as refs should just be like, you know what, we need somebody laying on the ground here. Because I remember a time where I had gotten pulled out on nothing, and if a ref was literally laying right there, he would
Yeah.
see that it was nothing,
Yeah.
and that in a sense literally changed the game. That was we were playing against pole position,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
man, that was one that I really wanted to win, man. And so just that alone, I was just like, man, only if there's refs doing it like that, like how
Yeah.
reffing is supposed to be done.
Yeah. Yeah, I think reffing paintball is probably one of the hardest sports to ref. I will definitely say that, right here. I think it's very hard, I mean, but like there are certain, antics that I think towards the end of the day, or like I would just, be honest, like I think just on some of the lower divisions where they're not as like in the spotlight of the main crowd, and like a lot of, the supervisors and people, you know what I mean? So it's just like, but yeah, there's like certain levels, I've seen like indecisiveness on certain times, especially like in a lot of clips I've reviewed from some. So I mean, it's just interesting. But I mean, I think overall, I think for the most part, I think it seemed like nobody got too screwed too hard on it overall. You know what I mean? But I mean, I guess it's paintball, so. I don't know.
I mean, I see them really trying to. So it's not like
I
they're
think Dub
total
C.
shit.
I think Dub C is like the event where it was a little bit rough, like on your guys' field in particular. And I mean, I have like plenty of clips just on that one field. I think whatever the white field was, it was Vulcan or Empire, whatever. Just that whole field in general, and it was like a little bit, rough. But you could tell. I think that you guys saying like more of just the newer skill level, you know what I mean? Because it does take, an eye, and it's kind of a skill level just overall time of like being a ref or paintball to really be able to nail, everything and see. Because I'll say what I did though, even the 1v1 tournament at SC Village the first time, like that shit was pretty hard, even ref a 1v1 tournament, especially even on the other side. It is hard to like see some shots, and stuff like that. But I just think there was like a lot of like more indecisiveness, and like sometimes, refs were like, in like making three calls, especially some of the clips you guys like have, like instead of kind of just like maybe figuring it out and kind of really seeking it through, like they're kind of like running in there, backing up, grabbing jersey, you're good, then like running back. So like there's it's like sometimes you gotta slow it down a little bit, but yeah. So I think we kind of went over some of the Dub C ASG, your guys' thing. So we kind of talked about in the intro, so we're kind of on like the last more of like category wise of like in-depth stuff. But I think you guys kind of hit on it a little bit in the beginning, but I think we'll kind of just talk. You guys can talk about like just like teamwork and attitude, and like maybe things that you guys have like the growth, I guess, in that like level. I know we're all like advanced, and I know Leo hit on there's like times where I think there is like a nice to kind of just have like that one voice, to like for anybody, to just kind of just like, hey, what's it's cool, and it's like we're all intense people, but I mean maybe just talk about the overall level of just kind of like how I guess paintball, and how you guys, adjusted, or maybe what you guys have seen like maybe early on that's like allowed you now to be more of like the team aspect, you guys have kind of want to be right now. So
Yeah, I mean, you want to take this one, Leo?
No, go for it. I'll piggyback off you.
Well, me as just growing up, I would skate a lot, So like, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, hundreds of times before days and days and days on end until you finally land that trick and you do it perfect and it feels so good. And I found the same thing with paintballing, just trial and error, but it's not just me, it's the team. And that's just what it is. We're just trying to get better, and it's good to have people that are on the same page, even reading the same chapter. It doesn't even matter about being on the same page. It's just having an idea and common ground and stuff like that. And so it's just like being with a group of guys like the Immortals and shit like that is man, it's good, man. It's way better. I think it's just my bad. I just got something in my eye. Lost my train of thought. But no, yeah, just getting better as a team is just fucking beautiful, man. Like I I can't express how much like I really enjoy the journey and stuff like that, cuz like I said, it's not about the medals, it's not about the placements and shit like that. And all that shit's great and all. But when we had went to ASG and played the D4, we weren't going in like, yeah, we wanted to win, but we wanted to win ourselves. Like I would tell the boys, like, this is we're winning against ourselves, and if we play against ourselves, and instead of losing ourselves, winning to ourselves, is just like it's gonna like the outcome's gonna be that much more. And we've in D5, we've always like obviously we pay to play, and we want to win and we want to get the podium and shit like that, but we never were able to until we upped the fucking ante and we went into D4, and we
yeah.
really played against ourselves. We came out as a team just like, hey, what the fuck is going on? Like, how are we gonna assess this? And like it was everybody's voice, everybody, and it was just like it was just really cool, man. It was just really cool to fucking see ourselves do that, like in a higher division, like in
Yeah.
a uncomfortable environment. Like we didn't know the teams that we were playing against. We only played against Sabotage, what they played as Rage and shit like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So we played against Rage the weekend before, and we were really like, fuck, man, like this is the team that we're gonna have to beat.
Yeah.
And Mayhem as well. Shout out Mayhem, because they really like kind of that day they were like, wow, like you guys are doing good. You guys are doing this right. You guys are doing this right. And it's really cool to just have other teams too like come in and
Yeah.
like compliment and like really give credit where it's due, especially if they're in a higher division. Like some people on Rage played on Sabotage, fucking D3 players, D2 semi pros and shit like that. So it's like hearing that is like really cool. But I mean, I feel like hearing it from our own team and getting everybody on the same page is that much more better too. But
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Having that team communication is hard to get, right? And it's hard to get a group of guys that are individuals and try to tell them, hey, let's work as a team. Especially when you're all badass ballers by ourselves. And it took us a long time to get to where we're at as a team. I feel like we're barely putting it together. We have a lot to learn, and we're barely putting it together as a team, more than a team. Like I said before, a family. If I die, I let my family down. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where everybody's job is just as important as the next. You know what I mean? Like the bad guys got to take the heat off of me so I can go in there and do what I do. Or vice versa. I got to put some heat on me. So, and then I got to relay that information. I don't want to die with information, right? And so I'll relay the information to a Porky or to a George, Joel, or whoever's in the back or whoever's on the other side, loud and proud enough for them to hear it. And and to let my team know what's going on, and so they know what to shoot and where to shoot and what bunker and who to get to. And it's just it all comes into play, like that field awareness and that team communication and that team chemistry that we talk about. It's one thing to have a team, but to have a chemistry with your team is another thing. And it took us a while to get that chemistry together and to where it's actually functioning for us in a good aspect. It took us a while to get there, man, and I'm finally starting to see the results. Well, we are finally starting to see the results as a team that it's bettering us. You know what I mean? Like knowing how. So like when we talk about great ballers, we talk about Team Dynasty, right? And they know how each individual is gonna play. You know what I mean? They know they know how Ryan's gonna play.
Of course.
I know how Porky's gonna play. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it took a while for us to learn that about each other. And I feel like this year we're finally harnessing that, and we're putting our comms together. It starts with the communication, and just evolving from there. And it started off by just Paul giving us the knowledge, because we didn't know that. Because at first we were just players coaching players, and I felt like that held us down for so long. You know what I mean? Because we all have our individual strong personalities, and we all try to voice our opinion. And it's just that it's like we're finally coming together and listening to each other, and putting that into a positive attribute on the field. And me, like, I can't be loud all the time. Like when I'm at that 50, sometimes I gotta
you
be
need
quiet,
to,
unless
exactly.
because if not, I'm giving my body away. But at the same time, if I'm at the point where I can do that because my boys got my back across field shooting the tape. You know what I mean? And it's just that. It's knowing that, hey, we're crossing up. Hey, you better shoot this guy up. If he runs up on my tape, you better shoot him up, or you're going to be on your own over there. And you know what I mean? So it's just that, hitting those shots. We're not going to hit every shot, but at the same time, knowing that, like, hey, because I got ran up on last weekend, right? But the guy was all proud that he shot me, but I was like, hey, man, you got the kill, but you lost the game. You know what I mean? But it's just that, and it's just that. It's at the end of the day, we're there to win every point, and yes, we all like to keep five alive, but at the same time, I would sacrifice my body for my team. You know what I mean? And it's in doing that we get these dubs, that we get, because we could be good at practice and suck at tournaments. You know what I mean? We gotta, we're hard. We want to harness it all at practice, at tournaments, because at tournaments the nerves are there, the freaking, it's just your mind's going a minute. Like you gotta go.
There's a lot to
do.
do.
Yeah, there's a lot to take in. You know what I mean? And but we're finally coming together as a team. At practices, we're putting it there. We're just putting it together as a team, and that's what we are. That's what we do. It's just, we're a family, and I feel like if I'm not doing my job, I'm letting my family down. And I don't. Nobody got your back like your family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no one really takes into consideration like how long it takes, and like the amount of effort that we have to put in, the sacrifices. We go there every weekend. We spend so much money. We like we've been through it all just just to get to where we're at now. And like, you know, like the lower division, like our gray lineup, the Immortals gray, like you know, I see that they're struggling to just like come together, but like it takes time. It really takes time. It's been 3 years and we're finally talking about like we're finally getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Like think of that. Like it takes that long
Yeah.
of time to just
Of course.
already start honing shit down, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
there's going to be so much more time ahead of us to where we're going to perfect it, and then once we perfect it there's going to be so much more time
Mm-hmm.
ahead of us to where we're going to actually
Yeah.
like showcase like how we actually play. And like I feel like us as the Immortals, I asked them, you know, before we even did the first tournament, like what is our plan for the Immortals? Like are we just going to be out there and just kick ass and that's
Mm-hmm.
it, or are we going to like buckle the fuck down and see exactly what's going to be needed to progress to the next level, and so on and so forth. And everybody's really into like all the boys, you know, you have to be obsessed with this
Yeah.
game. You have to be able to better yourself, and you have to be able to apply yourself. And I feel like that is what we stand for, like as our team, as our family. Like you have to be like that, because if you're not like that, you're just gonna be left in the dust. And there's people that had came in and tried playing with us, and that they're just like, damn, you guys are just all in it. And
Yeah.
we have to be, like, we
Yeah.
have to be, like,
Yeah.
especially because I asked them, like, what do you want? What do we want as a team? And we want to go the distance. All right, well, this is exactly what we need to do. And it's not even exactly what we need to do. We're still learning and
Yeah.
still processing everything. And it's just like a lot of people, like, man, it just doesn't come naturally. But it didn't come naturally. Like, we had to work for this shit,
Yeah.
and then it seems like a natural thing.
Yeah.
Like it once again, paintball is a beautiful thing, man. And it's
Yeah.
just like, man, I just really
Well,
love it, man.
I mean,
Especially playing
I
with my
mean, yeah, I
boys.
think a lot of us, like talk to people, our team, like away, just from the field. But like paintball is like one of those sports, like unless you're like in a certain maybe like level, like I guess like higher level, or, like around certain facilities, there's only so much time you can actually like play per week. You know what I mean? Like you can only get so much grind, and you can only go like, for most of us like Saturday and a Sunday. You know what I mean? Like whatever you're gonna put in those 2 days, and like once you're like the rest of the week is on you, whether it's like whether you want to go to the fucking park and do some drills, or whether you want to sit in your mirror, and snap shoot. Like besides those 2 days, the rest is on you. So like there's like we're kind of that trust level, but it's good that you guys have like had an evolving camp, you know what I mean, and are kind of like because a lot of lower division teams like that kind of play for them, have this idea, play for whatever, and just like, all right, move on to another team, or like maybe certain people like get better. But when you have like even the solid people, or even like the top people, like still wanting to like build the camp, you know what I mean, it just helps everyone grow. And I think that's like the biggest thing is too, is like I've learned just like sacrificing like yourself for the better and good, you know what I mean. Like everyone like always wants to like shoot people, and always but it's like sometimes like you'll have the off day, and like, and not like sometimes like, yeah, it's everyone shows their emotions fine. It's like one of those off days we happen, to like realize even at practice you're like, fuck man, like I've been getting blasted, like off the break, but there's still like a level, instead of like don't get like just get frustrated, sacrifice yourself, and like figure out like why, and like talk to your team like, hey, figure it out. Or like if you're like you said in a fucking talked about last podcast, in a tournament, like I'm fucking like solid, my brother is me and my brother are same kind of height and length, but we play kind of a two different playing style. And there was like one point where like he was in and I took a breather, and he fucking went up to the 50, and like Sean's people was like, yo, like if we're gonna keep running this play, just like I'll sit out for the whole fucking match and just like coach, with Kevin, and just like analyze. I think that's like the beauty of like paintball. Like when you start building that brotherhood, like you can sacrifice yourself, and like you don't always have to try to be like the spotlight, you know what I mean, and like which is good. And you guys have like an all around thing. I think you guys can trust pretty much everyone, everyone on your team, to do in the moments, and like I said, paintballs, you win, you lose a lot more than you win, but it's just like it's always that good feeling, the winning, and you guys, I think you're on the right track to do some good things. So we'll see, D4 this year.
Yes,
So
sir.
we'll see, how it goes.
Shout out to Kevin Leon too, by the way. He's a good guy, man. It was
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
Yeah.
good guy that because competitors. Me and that guy, we would shoot each other out all the time
Yeah.
on the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's a competitor himself, man, and he's a good guy. But it's that, man. You said something about the emotion. Like I used to play so much with my emotions, like not play with my emotions,
Yeah.
but like on the field,
Mhm.
like I was there, and I had to, like, when I say I had to turn that switch off, man, I had to find that, and like I had my guys even Porky, like, man, let's not play with emotion today. Like, nah, I'm all heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
feeling
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And so it's just like it
Yeah.
was that I had to find that medium to where like because it's true. Like people they feed off of me. You know what I mean? They feed off of you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? They my team feeds off of like how I'm acting. If I'm gonna be a jerk, they're gonna be jerk. You know what I mean? So
Hell
it's like
yeah, hell yeah.
knowing
Exactly.
how much impact that you as a player, right? Porky as a player, Joel as a player, George as a player, anybody on the Immortals as a player, Ben as a player,
Yeah, shout out Ben.
any of
Yes.
the guys as players, we feed off of each other. You know, so if we're having an off day, but like you said, if I'm getting shot out every time I'm running to the snake, hey, put someone else in that can make it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And knowing that, you know what I mean? Because me myself, I'm like, you don't bench Kobe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You ain't benching Kobe.
know?
You know, because but at the same time, but if Kobe's not making his points, we gonna
Or,
bench him.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
or you just figure it out. You know, I mean, I think sometimes it's just like I know you're the type of player where it's like the more you get shot at going to snake, the more you're gonna try to keep going to snake. Where you're like, all right, maybe this play, we actually stop up for a minute, and saying like, let me be the shooter this time for a minute, and then get in the snake instead of just like so like those are like I said, you don't always have to like pull yourself out, but it's just like stepping, sacrifice. Like, all right, like we've just been sending me a snake all the time. Like, let's figure this out. I'm an asset to play, but I gotta like fucking and I think this. But like I think, as I remember, like that's why I think especially like on like levels where we don't really have like coaches necessarily, or we don't have like people like at the events. Like yeah, we have like the people helping like pit crew and whatnot, but but like usually the people like aren't like as much involved around paintball to an extent, like or don't like know like the level of, like IQ and caliber. So like when we are, you guys, you made a comment earlier when it's like we're basically like we're players coaching each other, so it's like that's why like like the events, like I'm I mean you guys are my good friends, so, like, and I want you guys to succeed, but that's why like those times where like I just walk by and like I see like those moments and like you guys like don't have like in those moments don't have like that person to like be that person, and I walk over and just like, yo, like let's fuck, and then like remember the one time, I put my hand, I was like, you guys were up like 5-2, and I was like, why are you guys getting all fucking mad? You guys were fucking winning. You guys were up by 3 points. I know like you guys might have lost point and frustrated, but you guys were fucking winning by 3 points. It's like, so it's like those are the moments, where just like it's cool, it's cool to lose, you know what I mean? It's cool to sacrifice that feeling once in a while that we lost a point, but just like, we just gotta like not get ourselves so honed up that like we keep losing points because we're like stuck, you know what I mean? But that's why, like I said, like when you're at like a high level and pro and semi-pro, and those fucking people walk off the field, they don't have time to bitch. Like if they bitch, like the coach sits them down. You know what I mean? And like that's like, so it's like when you are self-coaching, your own team, you have to just kind of like realize that too. It's like we're just like we got to take our step. Let's kind of be, we're the coaches of our own teams. We got to take a step back, like and chill. Like what's the best, So, but I think it's good. I think you guys are doing well. You know what I mean? And the future is bright. So yeah. So hopefully I don't feel like yeah. You can go. Yeah.
Nah, honestly, and shout out to Paul again for that, for instilling that on us, because like even though we're gonna win, even though we win a point, why did we lose a body,
Yeah.
And that's what like really like we get mad at ourselves because of that. We want to be perfect, because it can be that perfect. Like yeah, the occasional shot off the break and stuff like that, but I mean if we have 5 bodies up, why are we losing? Because everybody has a set job. And if everyone does their job, there's no reason why somebody should die. Unless it's like, Leo, our front player, or George, our front player on the Dorito side. If they have to go stab out and trade somebody, that should be the only exception. But that's why we're so hard on ourselves, because we want to do this shit, like, not necessarily perfect, but just the right way every single time. And that's why it's always a battle amongst ourselves. So anytime we do lose, anytime we place a shitty place at a tournament, we always tell ourselves like it's not everybody else's fault. It's our fault. We lost
Yeah.
to ourselves.
Yeah.
And so like that's why we really like, we get mad at each other, and like not even mad at each other. We just really like, assess the problem, and we're really good at accepting everybody on the team. Everybody is really good at accepting constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
it's really it's just that. It's like shout out to Paul again, like really like instilling the way of a paintballer should be onto us. And I feel like it's just the sky's the limit. From like how Leo said,
Yeah.
This 2024 season, I feel like it's gonna be really good. Like man, like the way that we've been playing at practice, the way that we just been communicating, even though we win a point, we go out and we says like, why did we lose a body? Why did we lose two? Why did we lose three? Like,
Yeah.
like we really have
Yeah.
that, and it's like a shout out to Paul, man.
Yeah.
Shout
I
out
wanted to say something.
Yeah.
So, you guys, you ever get that? Okay, so I don't know if you had this, but the moment I knew I was in the right place, right? When I knew like this is where I'm supposed to be, is when we went to Sacramento, Porky, and we played at NXL, right? And watching Ryan Greenspan and watching all those guys, man, and watching, what was it, the New York Extreme, watching all those guys ball. We're on the sidelines, and we did pretty well for our NXL, right? We did all right, But that was our first NXL, man, and it was just the bonding there was awesome, right? We all got the room, and we all like linked up, and it was just an awesome feeling, man. But just being there, I recommend it as a paintballer. If you guys ever go, man, and you guys want to feel like, hey, man, this is real, like you could be there too. And we even talked to the owner of NXL. Remember, we even talked to that guy, man, and it was cool to just be out there and be amongst the pros, right? Getting our shirt signed, getting our headband signed, and this and that, and just being a fan, and just like, I was like up there and I was like, I could do that, man. I'm gonna be that one day. You know what I mean? Like I was like, mark my words, I'm gonna be that one day. And I that's the day that I knew, like, man, this is where I'm supposed to be, playing that NXL, and in that vibe, just that feeling, that I can't describe it, but that feeling like I'm supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Like this is my calling. It was the NXL in 2023. But I remember, man, and that's the day that I knew that I was in the right sport and I was in the right spot, So I don't know what it was for you, Porky, but for me it was that day, man.
Man, yeah, no, that day lit a fire under all our asses, man. That shit was fucking sick, man. Playing NXL, that was one of the single greatest experiences of my life. Like just going out there, how he said, having the room, fucking assessing as a team, being out of our comfort zone, out of SoCal, like as a team, as a family, man, that shit was so cool. Like we
would have placed better. No, my bad.
Yeah.
It's right. We would have placed better if we didn't have 6 men on the field. We're trying to get away with it. We stayed with the 6 men. We made a mistake. So guy tried to run out, and we just gave him a point, man. And the guys that we ended up almost beating ended up taking it. So it was just like one of those things, like, you know what? We lost to ourselves, and I feel like a lot of our losses in the tournaments are to ourselves, are to stupid mistakes, things that we could have assessed beforehand or did better,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you kind of said it, like when it's unfortunate when someone's being a little bit loud or whatever, you kind of get a little more target on your back. And I think that was, one of those matches, Dub C, I think the whole team in general, just we'll say it in general, the whole team was getting a little chirpy. And I think when you start getting to the homegirl Jazz, and the people just doing the score, once they start getting a little bit like, all right, we kind of are losing the battle now, we might want to tone it back a little bit, like,
for sure, yeah.
But
you were that voice that toned me down.
Yeah, no, it's just like once, because I'm filming and I hear the back chirp, and once I hear it's like just like, what's that player's number? Oh, you got the scorekeepers mad, guys, it's not good. And she just stands up. Oh shit. No.
Shout out to you, because you really you really did that for all of us, came in.
Yeah, you were that voice of me.
Yeah, exactly. You even came to me and was like, hey man, don't take this any hard or anything, but you got to do this, and that. And you know what? It's just like I said, all of us, we take constructive criticism very well, and so like shout out to you, man. Like, especially like everybody else like on the team too, like Ben, Bob, anybody on the Grays that were playing with us, Sean, Mercedes, fucking everybody was there. Jason, Ben, like dude, everybody, man, is just a voice of reason. But man, it's really
especially
cool.
in paintball, in those moments, paintball is like a, they always say, like, in baseball or any sport, like you can't think about the previous play, you got to move on to the next one. Well, paintball is definitely a sport where you think about the previous point, for sure you're gonna fucking lose the match, and that's just, that's usually how it is. So it's definitely the one thing that you have to, like my brother, we tried to recently, we tried to focus a little bit more on just like drilling and stuff, and my brother going to the field every once in a while. But the one thing my brother and I have tried to instill on whatever team, I guess, like we're on, or just like me and him, is like whether we're practicing or like at a tournament, that just like if something like goes wrong or something's like we're frustrated, to just like shut your mouth and just talk about it like off the field. And like, you know, there's even like my brother caught himself, you know, a couple weeks ago. It was like where we still won a point. Isn't my first one of the first videos I put recently on episodes, but it's like me and Paulo, we fucking were doing fine the Dorito side. We ended up like getting shot. We ended up like winning the point. Like I still traded out, and like, but it could have been detrimental because like the guy fucking ran us both down. And if I didn't like kind of borderline spin and like trade with him, like we would have fucking, you know, whatever. And my brother was just like in the GoPros, just like starts talking. I was like, I already talked about it, because you hear in the GoPro I already talked about him with, but like told my brother like, yo, we already talked about it. And like he was like breaking his rule, because he's the one that says like, yo, like in the moment, pick up your pods. Like I know you want to like chirp at each other, but it's just like get off the field, you know, like take a deep breath, just take the minute, pick up your pod, take like a couple deep breaths, and like just like, you know, and then walk off the field and have a good conversation. Because like I've done that so many times. There's been some fucking footage. I always leave, you know, whatever footage in my GoPro videos, you know, unless it's like crazy, you know, like gonna get us in trouble or something. But there's been some fucking videos where me and my brother have just like, whatever happened in the match, we just have like thought this person should have done something else. When we picked our pods, like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, don't fucking yell at me, you know, like what the fuck, Brandon? And like then we're off the field. I turn my GoPro, we're on the field. One day like we're at ASG, and like I'm not even kidding, like me and my brother, like nobody, like Chris and Kevin didn't know what to do, because it was like me and Vince who were brothers, and it's just like we were like dead eye, like fuck you, like you did a job. And I just I usually don't take my jersey off, but I like just took my jersey off and was like, fuck this, like I'm done with this shit. And I just like walked to the parking lot, I took a deep breath, and I walked back. I was like, right, it's just your brother. And I was like, I didn't mean to. I know, Vince. I was like, I know. It's like in the moment, like it just like, you know, we're both chirping at each other. Like I'm like, you're supposed to be looking inside. You're supposed to be no, fuck you. You didn't. It was like just a. So like that's kind of the moments where like we try to, after that day, we kind of just like, all right, like just walk out the field, take a couple deep breaths, you know, and just kind of like chill the fuck out, you know. But
yeah, nobody's harder on you than your brother, man.
Yeah, definitely. like my brother literally lives like right next to me. Like I mean, and we don't talk very much throughout the day, but like when we go home from paintballing for like that hour drive in traffic from SC Village to ASG, like I've never heard my brother talk so much in his life. Just that hour drive every bit. It's like I know he's passionate, and it's good, just like a bond, you know. And that's why we started getting back into paintball, just to kind of, you know, there's nothing better, you know, and this is what it is. So
yes, sir. Hell yeah.
I mean, shit. I pulled up my fucking APPA, and my first tournament on APA was in 2009.
Jeez.
That was yeah. And then I played some Dub C's back in the day when Camp P. I played some tournaments at Camp P. Those you talk about that team, my team IN scene. Camp P, we're all fucking just taking like herbs and shit over the thing, you know, like whoever has like the valid driver's license. I'm like young, whoever the valid driver's license shows, we're in the hotels, you know, a bunch of fucking like. But then now, obviously, that shit's closed, and you probably get busted as fuck. You do that shit nowadays on this basis, you know. But well, no, that's good. So what I'm gonna do right now. Last time I kind of fucked it up early on, so we'll see if I'm gonna pull up these clips. I'm gonna change this because we're gonna pull up these clips, and you can talk through it. You can just watch these and be in awe. I will share. I should be able to share my screen up here too. Up here. Let me turn this one on. It should be able to use now. Let's see. Okay. Is it this one? I think this is it. I'm not mistaken. We'll find out. We will find out. It's the first time you guys played at Ambush, or have you guys played there a bunch of times before? That was the first time I've literally been to Ambush, I think, if I can remember, and I kind of liked it.
Our first time at Ambush was that championships.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was our first time. And honestly, I love that park, man.
Yeah, that's a nice park.
Dude, I love playing and just looking to the side and just seeing the fucking hills and shit like that. That's just cool, man. I love that.
Yeah, it's a good part.
It's this one right here. Alright, I'm pretty sure it's there. We go.
13 seconds.
Good little drive too.
Yeah, it's a good little drive. That's why I stayed out there. I definitely took the chance at
Yeah,
getting a
for
hotel. It was more worth it, but I mean, in a sense.
Yeah.
When I have to fucking be at fields at 6:30 in the morning to like make sure I'm there in time to set up for 7 o'clock in the morning games, I don't want to leave my house at 5:30 to go do media. Like I'm just
Yeah. I think that was the day I think I seen you film the most you've ever filmed. You were just
yeah,
running
that's
from one
it. Yeah,
spot
this
to
was
the
a
next.
lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are watching this clip, but that was a shitty ass slide that I just did. That's that D5 for you. Oh man. I got scooped right there. I thought he was gonna come run me down.
I'm pretty sure I got bounced right there off the bunkers.
Oh yeah, this is that controversial bounce
Oh.
clip.
Oh yeah.
This is
It's.
when we're
I
playing
think the
against
best part
grade.
is because it's against like your own squad.
Yeah, look at there it is.
Wait, cause
Yeah.
like he walks off and then just one hands
See,
up.
there's me in the background.
So I noticed that I didn't call myself out, and then after I was like, wait, I could keep playing.
He said that's bullshit. He's like, come on, bro, that's bullshit.
Shut up, Bruno, man.
Yeah.
Shut up, Bruno. Yeah, that was surprising for me, getting 2 bounces on that shit, man. Fuck,
Yeah.
dude. And then I do my little dancey dance.
You're like, oh, I'm not hit. Yeah.
See, this is what follows me. Like, this is like what tripped me out. And I was like trying to figure it out. Cause like I don't know, you didn't really like call yourself, but you almost like walked to the sideline and then just put your gun out and go tap tap. And it was like, it was the funniest.
Yeah, so like right
Like
here,
as he's walking away, like what?
and after I check,
He just fucking tapped. Bro, if you were hit, that is like the biggest penalty of the fucking.
I
This
know.
Right.
And then it rolls down again. That second ball rolls down again, man.
That's insane.
I'm sorry, Bruno. I know you're watching right now. Our profession. Oh.
Hey, so you even hear him walk off like that's bullshit.
Yeah. It's,
Honestly, man, I would have been pissed the fuck off too. I would have
Too.
been so.
I would have been yelling at refs. Yeah, that would have been my bad. We would have had a red on that one, sir.
Yeah. Hopefully.
But
this
hey,
time-
man, it's crazy because if you do slow mo those images, man, they do bounce, bro, and it's crazy
Yeah.
how all it took was just a little slack, done slacking off of your shirt, man, and it just it literally bounced, bro. It's
the
crazy.
Slackin Podcast. See.
Slackin Podcast.
I had to throw it in. You know how that say it in the movie? Yeah.
It's Peter Griffin's favorite thing. Have you guys seen that shit?
Yeah.
Oh, they said the name of the movie.
Boy, Porky just not doing much right here. Just just having
Doing my job,
Just containing.
Just doing my job, man.
Oh, give a shout out to Violence right there. Give you a little bit of exposure.
Oh yeah, shout out to
I
Violence.
gotta get the
Shout
best
out to
angle.
Violence.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so I see Leo make the move, and I know I have to get his back.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
wow, wide as fuck.
Yeah, here comes that move.
So this is where people thought that it. I think this is it. So they think that Leo was the one that got the penalty, but it was me. This was
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole.
This is where you
the
run
refs were
through,
laying
right?
down. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See. So I skipped the guy that shot at me, and if you could see, he hits the nipple of the W. All his shots hit that nipple. He did not get me once for shit.
The guy was still looking. Clap, clap. Hey, that full set. Clap, clap. Clap, 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 clap.
Man, I'm sorry, Leo, because that was on me. That was on
No,
me.
I thought it was on me. I thought it was because I overshot the guy or.
As you can see, I'm walking off clean as fuck. Nothing
Right.
on me. And they're like, "You're out, player." I was like, "Dude, I did not get out."
I was like, what?
Oh, you
Why
hear
me?
that? I
see
told
my face,
you.
I'm like, why me?
That's the part where fucking Jazz was just like tripping out. You could hear her on the sideline. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that was funny.
Dead players
Yeah, and
do
then after
not
a long
talk.
time, And for a long time, I thought that it was me because I overshot him.
Nah, it was me, man. Like they had thought that I got shot and I played on, and I was gonna go bunker out that corner guy, but they had pulled me out.
Well, if you hear their coach is like, "Come on, 5 shots," and I was like, "Man, the first 2 missed." I mean, I went back and I see the first 2 missed, but when I was scooting, I kept shooting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Here's the Hormesius Porky right here.
Man, I gotta stop that. I gotta stop that with the 5-man X-ball shit, man.
yeah,
That's the whole like doing our job shit. Cause like if Leo was looking on the inside and I was supposed to look at the tape, and somebody was moving up the snake, that's my fault. And then if Leo's on the tape and then someone's moving up the snake, then that would be his fault. But if we're both dead and then someone on the Dorito side allows that to happen, then that's their fault. So like we always have jobs. It depends on what bunker we're at.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir. Yup.
Oh yeah, the guy in the middle. Yeah, I scoot and I see him right there. Yeah, and I give him like 3 to the butt because he was crawling as I was scooting up.
So right here, when we call solo, we should all have our guns right there. Just have Leo go up and trade out with that fool. If not, I'll be right there going from the highway.
Yeah, and I like to see when I hesitate like that, it's like I'm just trying to time it. You know what I mean?
Hell
Just
yeah.
not only, but he ends up getting flipped right there, anyways.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So that was kill 5. But timing's everything in paintball, man.
Damn, those pants look nice.
That's those are the few clips that I had. I mean, or that I
Nice.
thought were the most interesting. You know, I think the best ones of that weekend. Oh, look at my
Yeah,
APP.
man,
Look
all
at that
of it.
beautiful smile, dog. Sheesh, that wasn't supposed to be on there, but all right.
You look like fucking.
Damn, that was when. Oh, damn. I totally forgot that was my picture. I went to get my media pass to Chicago and I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, fuck, this is the picture on it? I didn't even think about it. I got to upload another one for next year. All right.
Like Uncle Fester with hair.
All right, so.
Yeah, man, that was good stuff.
All right, so we kind of hinted on it, but we're pretty much at the last 2 little sections. So I guess you'd say, what is your guys' plan this year? What do you guys hold? What tournaments do you guys see yourself playing in? You know, I mean, a little foreshadowing, you know, or you could talk about the team or whatnot if you want. You don't have to.
Yeah, man. The 2024 season, we're just gonna try play as much, not necessarily as much paintball tournaments as we can, but the ones that are really gonna count and better ourselves, just as a team. So, our next tournament. We were talking about
Vegas,
doing
baby.
ASG. Yeah, Vegas, baby. We were talking about doing ASG, but I feel like it'll be a little bit better if we just, save our chips and, just practice a little bit. Even though ASG is a really good practice tournament,
Yeah.
I feel like we can
Yeah.
get the same feel, like, just putting our money where it's needed,
Mhm.
going to practice, really doing that shit. And, yeah, so NXL is our next one. It's going to be March 8th through 9th or through
Yeah,
the
I
10th.
gotta start planning for that
And
on
just
myself. Fuck.
Yeah, man, and just any Dub C. We're gonna play all of Dub C. We're really gonna try make our mark on the D4 scene, and just try get our fucking name out. Just try, really let people know that we're fucking ballers. We're here to fucking ball. We're here to not fuck around, and we're here to, take some fucking names, get overshot, overshoot. We receive them just as we give them. It's just paintballing, and we're really here to fucking just do that in NXL and WC. And if we want to, jump into ASG and stuff like that, we definitely can. But I feel like just to showcase our skills and really better ourselves is gonna be those high tier, you know, tournaments, those leagues and stuff like
Yeah.
that, especially a national league. Like, I'm really looking forward to NXL getting the teams from like everywhere fucking else. Like,
Yeah.
man, I really want to
It's
play
fun.
NXL. Like, I've been, especially all the sandbaggers out there. Man, I'm waiting to just
Yeah.
just put it on them. Do my job so Leo could go out there and shine, and fucking do my
Yeah.
job so George could go out there and shine, man. And just like I really want to do it fucking almost perfectly. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
and 2024 for me, man, like this last year, 2023 showed me, man, like I have a lot of friends that came and gone, and I'm all about growing the sport, man. Like I'm literally out there like trying to grow the sport, get people that don't even know about paintball to know about paintball that like I like literally grow the sport because, at the end of the day, you give back what was so freely given to me. Like I when I believe it when I say it, like it literally saved my life, and if it could do for me what it could do for someone else, you know what I mean? So like literally growing the sport, like again, and I love bringing this kid's name up is freaking I forgot his name right now. um, two more. Anyways, just growing the sport, watching Chris grow, the kid Chris grow, and Cody, and just a lot of players that are like growing in the sport and watching it, man. It's so cool to see. Like I get a different type of high of watching them grow, and just getting to see that, growing the sport. Like literally, that's what I'm
Yeah.
I'm out here to do. You know what I mean? And I would like to do a lot more of that. To see other people shine too. Like. But at the same time, like I'm a ball out.
Of course.
2024 is ours and all that good stuff. But I want to leave my name a different way. Just growing the sport and like letting people know that like, hey man, this is a good sport. It's a really a great family oriented sport because I like Bruno brings his family out there and I've seen people bring
Mike.
their family out there.
Yeah.
Mike brings his son out there and that
Shout
is
out Little
so
Man,
cool
yeah.
to see. Mike, he's a new guy from he plays on the Immortals, and Mike he brings his kid, and me and Porky got a chance to talk to his kid, and like he listens so well, and
Mhm.
he's just like a sponge, right?
Yeah.
Just like saying all like even if we don't I don't cut. I try not to cuss, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like even the bad words, like we don't understand like how you said, we don't realize that we're like not only mentors, but we're like these kids look up to us. You know what I mean? And we don't see that when we're just out there doing what we love, you know what I mean? But they we give them like you should have seen what it did what the attitude change it did for that kid Chris.
Oh yeah.
His whole demeanor changed. Like he walks with his chest out. You know what I mean? And he's just it gives him so much confidence, and it just
Yeah.
to see that is just so awesome to see. And then to see Mike bond with his son because his son's only what like 9, and he's like barely getting
And
into it, and he's barely get yeah 9, but he's barely getting into it, and
Mhm.
he's just like a sponge, man. And it's so cool to see them bond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the kids like he gets shut out like it hurts me as a grown man,
Oh
so I can
yeah.
only
Those
imagine
moments.
what
Yeah.
it does for him. You know what I mean? But he's still out there and he loves it, and it's just the bond that he has with his son is just so awesome to see. And then to see, parents support their kid, like
yeah, like Lucas.
Lucas.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of his name. Like Lucas's parents, like they back him up so much, and they're so proud of him, and they're just like, but he's a baller. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And
But
he does what he needs to. Yeah.
and he definitely puts in the work, and it's just like I remember when that kid started off with a gun and like his dad's gun, and his dad was going out there with them, and they started bonding like that, and it's just so cool to see
Yeah.
them evolve in the sport and like growing the sport. That's what I'm here for, man. And it's just like
Yeah.
because it saved me, and I know it's probably gonna save somebody else. So that's what
Yeah.
2024 is gonna bring
Yeah.
me.
No.
Leo, yeah, I'll, dude, shout out Leo, man. You always take the time to just really sit back and mentor the youth and stuff like that. And like honestly, like I wish I could be like that more and more and more. But dude, you really take the time to really do that, and I really like, man. I wish I could be like that. But it's just like This is kind of hard, you know. I got
You do it. You
everybody.
do it in your own
do.
way, though, man. You do, cause kids look up to you, bro. For real.
Yeah, no, it's definitely seeing like Chris, like, cause I was the one like really kind of like mentoring him through his first tournament and shit like that, and he was scared shitless, man. And like you said, now he walks with his fucking chest out and his dick in his hand, man. It's fucking, he don't give a fuck. He's ready
I
to
hope
just
he's
go
not
out there.
watching.
Nah, man, but I really like seeing that, man. And then Mike and Little Man, dude, Little Man, like you said, he's a sponge and shit like that, man. And he's out there with us big boys, you know. And I'm pretty sure, you know, you, Brett, when you were the young one on the team, you could relate to that, you know, just
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to like, you know, keep up and stuff like that. And man, that kid, you tell him where somebody's at, he's relaying the message. You
Mhm.
know, you tell him to do a job, he's doing that job. You tell him to move up, he's moving up. And
Yeah.
like, and that's a kid that's just barely starting out. So I mean, like
Yeah.
how Leo said, imagine how he's gonna be when he's like, you know,
Yeah.
older and shit like that. He always talks to him about it, and it's like, man, like that's another beauty
Yeah.
in paintballing, man. And it's like it's really cool. It's
Yeah.
really cool to see, especially like Mike, like how he said, bonding with his son. I wish I could have my brother, you know, out there like how you do, and like how George and Junior have, you know, their oldest brother Zordon. You know, he lives in Utah, but he comes out and plays with us. Um, yeah, man, like I would love that, you know. But I mean, I still have my brothers, you know, Leo and everybody
Of
else on
course.
my team, Ben, you know, Bobby, everybody, Drew, Adam, everybody. And I wish Dylan was there too, you know. If Dylan, you're watching this shit, or if you end up watching it, man, just come back.
Yeah, we love you, bro. Man,
Come
yeah,
back,
come
man.
back, bro.
But
Well, he's actually gonna be in Vegas, so we'll probably see him out there. So
yeah,
we'll see
but
you out
imagine
there.
him playing with us.
Yeah, that'll be sick.
That'd be sick.
No,
Good times, good
I
times.
think the biggest thing, and that's like, I think, you know, that's why the last one, you know, kind of even like teamwork and attitude. I think, you know, I've always been told, even from one of my friends, especially when I decided, you know, to do like a lot of like YouTube, whatever, that I think a lot of people nowadays don't really say much what they're watching, you know, and like, even though it's like at the end of the day, it's like you might not internally, you know, as a person, like feel certain impacts because people don't like walk up to you, you know, and say like, hey, you know, like thanks for doing this, or like putting out, you know, this like clip, or like, you know, this whatever, this, hey Leo, thanks for just posting, you know, your shit on, you know, Instagram, because I like, you know, I like to see paintball and it's learning of the game. It's just like people like watch a lot, you know, and I think that's like the one thing we have to like understand. It's just like in like I said, at the tournaments, you know what I mean, just like at those moments where just like, you know, you might not have some younger kid or even a fucking player from another team ever like walk up to you and be like, hey, like, you know, like I appreciate you, Leo, who you are, but like, you know, I'm sure there's people watching, you know, and just like, you know, those moments where like we like get a, you know, we're human beings. It's like we can't always, you know, like be perfect, but I think that's the biggest thing in like the life, that we have to like realize that people watch a lot, and like there we make bigger impacts, I think, than we think, because it's not like told to us in like our face. And yeah, it's like, you know, I always try to say like, I know for me doing like what I'm doing, like paintball is, you know, a pretty interesting niche, and there's not a ton of people who are like, I can say, probably doing like YouTube as far as a crazy like living, and I'm not here to like necessarily like do that, you know. Yeah, I do a little bit off like, you know, the ads and stuff like that, but like I started doing YouTube and this because I love it, and I don't know, it just like feels like really good, you know, to just tell stories. And I don't know, I think we just have to just kind of, you know, keep growing the sport in these ways. And I think if it's not like for people, like I would say people like me, or people, you know, just like you would see that are like, you know, like Matt the Gym Rat, and even like those people, you know, that are like just trying to showcase like a different level in paintball. That's what I'm trying to showcase. I'm trying to showcase a little bit more of a different
fair.
level in paintball. That's why these podcasts are important to me, because it's like we all have like kind of grown up, or even like you guys, you know, maybe even in paintball for that long, like you've, you know about a lot of pros, you've seen, you know, like Dynasty play, like there's like a different level that like in paintball that means way more to us what paintball is than that level of paintball. Like, yeah, we might want to get there, but like there's just a different level that we need to share, and like this is the moments of growing the sport, you know. And like it's like even like adults, you know, I've been like in Texas or certain other, you know, events, Chicago, and certain even adults, you know, that are my age that watch my content or might play for another team, you know, in some other fucking, you know, state. Like they'll just see me randomly and they'll just, you know, say, hey, like I watch your videos, you know, whatever. And it's just like that's how I always want to like be in paintball, and I never want to like make content and like get to a certain point where like I show people up. I want everyone, you know, to walk up, you know, and that's what it is. It's like it just feels good. That's just like it's making an impact, but it's like I enjoy like making impacts. It's not like I'm doing, you know, like crazy like meme shit, you know, and I'm not trying to like be like this like somebody to get like views. Yeah, like we do it in the sense I have to do for, you know, for certain algorithms, but other than that, it's like I make the content 'cause I want people to walk up and like have a wholesome interaction, not like I'm some fucking celebrity or some paintball, you know, like, oh, it's like, no, we'll just fucking talk paintball, you know. I'm just a person strapping a camera and a GoPro to my fucking paintball gun and my mask, you know, and just making wholesome content. Yeah, and some of the little kids, you know, that have like walked up to me, whatever, it's like, okay, it's like, you know, like you don't realize, you know, the impact you make, you know, every day, you know. It's like, you know, even if I go to jungle 2 or 3 times, you know, and then maybe that one kid at Jungle Island, or even an adult, you know what I mean? That's I've never, if I didn't go to jungle that day, I might have never met this guy who like, you know, just enjoy things, you know, and not meet people like that. But yeah.
Yeah. Now I want to touch base on that, man. No, it's cool. It's a good feeling, man, when people come up to you like, hey, man, I saw that video, you know, and it was like, man, it was pretty cool. But like for me, you know, I record myself, and that's how it started, is to critique myself, you know, on my like what not to do and what to do, you know, and that's how it started. And then it just became me. Like when I do my commentary, I'm actually talking to myself, you know what I mean? Like I'm like kind of figuring out the do's and don'ts, you know what I mean? And that's how it started. And then it's cool when people come up to you and, you know, and they're like, oh dude, that video did so much for me. Or like, you know, and what's cool about paintball, guys, is just like we all come from different walks of life. Like I probably wouldn't have met you guys anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
But like paintball brought us together, and that's what's cool about paintball. It unites a bunch of misfits, a bunch of people that, like, you know, something was missing. I don't know if it was missing or they just needed something or whatever the case, but it just brings people from all walks of life together, you know. And it's just it's for that moment, right, when you're in the paintball and the adrenaline's rushing and you're out there and you're just, you know, kill one, kill two, you know what I mean? For that second, you're a kid again, right? You're thinking about just paintball. You're not thinking about, oh my God, my red slate or this, that, like, oh, this person, that person, you know what I mean? You're just thinking about paintball and how to get better at that. That's what's so cool about paintball. That's why I love it so much, man. And it's just to see people evolve in the sport, like John taught me, you know, and like I could share that with John taught. Like I didn't know, John's not my sensei, but he did teach me a lot, you know. And not only that, to see Grosy from Femme Fatales and Mercedes to make it pro, like, you know, that makes me think like I got what it takes too. You know what I mean? It's just so cool to get that validation of like, hey, you could do this and you're in the right spot, and bringing all these people from different walks of life. Like Rosy's a school teacher, right? And you know, and Mercedes is a power lifter. Like, what would have brought them together other than paintball? You know what I mean? And now they're on the same team and they're kicking ass. You know what I mean? It's so cool to see people find their knacks. Like Ben, our guy. You know what I mean? He you know, he's limited, right? But he's finding his knack and doing the cam like you. You know what I mean? And he's a hell of a back player, a hell of a paintballer.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
And he's a great person.
And you know, and we're all and that literally shows you limit yourself. And this guy's out there willing to risk his life. You know what I mean? He gets shot, and then people that he, you know what I mean? And so it's just like, to do all that and to risk that is just so, it's like poetry in motion, like Porky was saying. It's just such a artistic feel, man, and it's such a good feeling to just go out there and come from different walks of life, because I don't know what your life is outside of this. You know what I mean? Unless I got to know you, you know. But at the same time, we're all balling for our own reason, and it's just like, you know, and we're finding ourselves in paintball, and that's what's cool about it, man. So.
Yeah, no, I think so.
And I didn't mean Ben's limited. I meant like, you know.
No.
You know what I meant,
No.
you know?
No, but I mean, he risked it all.
Literally risking his life out there on the field.
Trust me,
you know?
Florida was rough, dog, and we were out there, and it was rough for all of us. So it was we're all doing it. We're all putting ourselves on the line. Paintball or media. Media's a fucking rough one too. I was out there for fucking 12-hour days, you know what I mean? Carrying fucking 7-8 pound weight around fucking Florida, especially in Florida. That humidity was no joke, man. There was a few moments where I thought I was going down for the count for a few times. Like, Vince helped me. I'm like, I told the last part I was trying to teach my brother how to fucking like film real quick while I'm like going down. Like, yo, do this. I'm gonna go down, just like go in the field, film them real quick, and I'll be okay, dog. Like, no, but Well, yeah, I think for the most part, I think that's pretty much it. You know, I think we covered a lot. I mean, I think the biggest thing for you guys is I wanted just to hit on the teamwork and kind of just like the attitude and stuff. I mean, just like just to, like, as far as like the more of just like overall divisional level, and kind of just like how you guys have built, and you guys seem to be a very good team, and you guys have figured it out. You guys have all said are all brothers and have all very level headed and have a common goal. I think that's very important. Especially where we're at, and the levels you guys are playing at. It's all you have to have. You have to have a common goal. There's limited sponsors that's paying for shit, yeah, discounts and things here and there, but I mean everything's on your own dime, so there is a love of the sport, you know what I mean? Especially to people understand, I mean, like most sports, I mean there's a little bit of, I guess, organization depending on if you're playing for school or something, but like paintball, you're going to Vegas, so like that's a lot of fucking money, you know what I mean, to do something like that. So that's definitely a lot of love and passion, dedication, especially when you're going to be playing against 40, 50 teams, in your division, or 30 teams. It's like, so there's a lot, but it'll be good seeing you guys out there. I'm going to figure this shit out. I mean, I'm going to try to do a lot of filming. Sometimes if my teams make playoffs, then I do film on Sunday, but I might try to play a little bit of 3-man or something, I'll bring my shit, since I'm going to drive, so I'm going to might as well fucking, I mean, we'll see what's, I'm going to try to go this Sunday and meet up with my boys for Narcos for the first time, so we'll see how the fuck that goes and see, that interesting road, but, I think that's just the best for the brand, and it's just to focus on that. And there's some things in my life as just jobs and financial stability and things I'm trying to find. So I think it's just better for me to like focus on that and kind of still do my media and like not worry about as much like focusing on a team and stuff. You know what I mean? And just like doing a lot of that, because it's a lot. To like you said, it's a lot. Even like to like try to have a good 8 and 10 guys. Be on the same page, make sure everyone's paying for tournaments. Getting money in time. Like doing this, it's a lot. So I figured it was just like maybe next year, but just better just to kind of focus on other levels of life and get there. And then still do paintball, but have a little bit more of an organization where I don't have to do as much of the hands-on and kind of just play and do things like that. So. Yeah. Anything else?
Not only that, you got to pay for paintball somehow. The media will do a little bit.
Yeah, it helps. Trust me, I am gracious for every single team. Like I think I want to say like overbooked myself a lot of tournaments, but I've definitely pushed myself to the very limits. But I know there's limited opportunities. In paintball events, especially where we're at, to be able to do those things and make those money opportunities. So when I'm at those events, I'm just fucking hustling. I think Florida was definitely, I took a lot of fucking team shit, but I think that humidity and stuff was just another level. But I mean, I'm appreciative of every single person who's taking a chance, early on and yeah. But anything else you guys want to say before we get off?
I want to give a shout out to all the teams that I came across, Happy and the Wu-Tangs, Pup Galvin and the Taco Killers, man, just everybody that I met out there in paintball. Like, if you guys ever want to, come up and like ask questions or even just hang out, man, all about growing the sport, man, and Paul and everybody, I can't name everybody, but just everybody that I came across paintball one way or another, man, I love you guys. Thank you guys for being a part of my journey. Thank you guys for letting me know the fire's still there, letting me know that everything is possible and just growing the sport. That's what we're out here to do, man. And if you guys aren't doing anything Saturday or Sunday, I'll be at SC Village. If you guys want to stop by, say hi, whatever, man, just, I'm all for it. The Immortals will be there too. We're going to be out there. So hopefully we'll see you guys out there, man. And Goofy, man, we love your media, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. You're the fucking man, bro. Excuse my language, and
it's good.
But at the same time, bro, you're the man, and you were that voice of reason when things were going. We had our conversation, but you know what I'm talking about. And I appreciate you, man, and I'm glad we crossed paths, and I'm glad you're a part of this journey, man. And I wish you health, wealth, and prosperity, man. And I wish that that it goes well for you with the Norcos, and you find your true calling, whether it be media, whether it be throwing your ass back in the paintball field, whatever it be, man. I hope that you find that and you just harness it and just run with it. You know what I mean?
Don't worry, I'll be there chirping your guys' ear plenty more times when I see you guys. Don't worry, I'll still be.
Oh, man, I'm hold you to that, brother.
Hell yeah, man. Just like Leo said, shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to all the teams. Shout out to Chase, man. Just meeting everybody that I've ever met in paintballing, man. Just shout out everybody, dude. You guys are the fucking man. You guys are fucking cool as fuck. Everybody, man. Pup, literally taking me under his wing, a rec ball
Love
and
you,
shit
Pop.
like that. Fucking going to the 50, and then at their Nguyen. I don't know if you guys know Nguyen, but he's the one that sent
Oh,
me
the
into
win,
Snake.
yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that sent me into Snake right away, you
Me
know.
too. Yep, he did the same thing to me. Yep.
So I mean, just like everybody that's really just bettered me as a person, you know, everybody, man. Like, man, shout out to everybody, and shout out to like, you know, just paintball in general, dude. Like being able to go to a tournament and being amongst the pros and stuff like that, like being able to just be people, like with your idols, like it's pretty cool. Like not saying that like, you know, I idolize everybody and shit like that, but I mean, man, just seeing somebody at like a top level in the sport that we really love and enjoy is just like, and we're able to just communicate with them. Hey man, you down to take a picture? Yeah man, how you guys doing? Like man, that
Mm-hmm.
that just means a lot just to
Yeah.
just to be able to do that, you know, is because we're just people, you know, we're
Mm-hmm.
just people, and we're
Yeah.
like, you know, how Leo says we're here to grow the sport and shit like that. But I mean, man, just shout out paintball.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
paintball.
Yeah,
Sick,
shout out
man.
Paintball. Love you guys, man. Thank you
Well,
guys.
I think that'll wrap it up, and I appreciate you guys, and we'll call it a night. Thanks everyone for here and chatting, and anyone writing comments, and just if you're here viewing, like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah.
2024. Immortals, baby. Let's go.
Let's get it,
Let's
boys.